it up a little bit. And so we are going to have some special health verses, and I'll show you how we're switching it up today. A health verses, it's Ephesians 4:28, and it says, "Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth." Now, where does it say in the Bible not to steal?
Ten Commandments.
10 Commandments, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we view the 10 Commandments as the don'ts. But if you look here in Ephesians, he's saying it's not just about not stealing. Instead, go work. When you make revenue, you can help those that actually need. So do the opposite of stealing and give to those that need. And so when we think of the health laws, sometimes we think about them as a list of thou shalt nots or don'ts. And when in reality, health laws are not just a list of thou shalt nots. They're actually they're full of affirmatives, things that you are really good for you to do. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. And what do you guys think is our number one deficiency in the U.S.? What do you think it is?
Holy Spirit.
What we're consuming. What are we deficient in? Like what
the Holy Spirit.
Fruits and vegetables.
What about with regards to food?
Oh.
Fresh fruits and vegetables.
I think we eat too much quick fast food.
All right, I'll give you some options. Protein, fats, carbs, fiber.
Yeah.
Fiber.
That's a little easier, huh? I like multiple choice too, so I really enjoyed when my tests had options. So yes, fiber, surprisingly. So we're going to talk about fiber today because it's very important. I'll show you how important it is. So the recommended intake for fiber, it kind of varies by age, but in general, men, it's greater than 38 grams per day, and women greater than 25 grams per day. And obviously that's kind of related to the fact that men tend to need more calories than women would need. So these are recommendations from the Institute of Medicine. So what percentage of the U.S. population actually achieves these goals? What do you guys think? 50%, 20%?
20%.
And
10%.
Anybody going for lower?
10.
All right, Bruce went for 10.
11%.
Well, you got the closest. If you look at it, the research done by the International Food Information Council showed that 2/3 of consumers believe that they're meeting their fiber needs. So these are people who actually believe they're getting their fiber needs. In the US, 2/3 of the population think that they actually are. Whereas the mean fiber intake is 16.2 grams amongst our population. And it's only increased, our intake has only increased by about 1 gram since, sorry, that's 15.1. That was my mistake, but it's only increased by 1 gram since the last survey was in 2001, 2002. So there's definitely a need, but in reality, only 5% of the US population actually meets the fiber intake recommendations. So to put that into perspective, out of 20 people here on Zoom, only one of those 20 is actually getting enough fiber intake, whereas the rest aren't. And it's unfortunate because in our population, we often talk about like, oh, are you getting enough protein? Are you getting enough this? Oh, you're eating too much carbs. And we never really say, hey, are you getting enough fiber when we ask someone about their dietary changes? And in reality, that's really what we need to start discussing. So if you look at it, what is fiber in the first place? Fiber equals plant material that cannot be digested, but that helps you to digest other foods. And you might say, why do I need to eat something that I don't even digest? Like, what's the importance of that? Well, that's a great question. Why eat something that your body's not even going to digest? What's so important about fiber? Well, when we look at it, the more fiber you take in, the less cardiovascular disease, less coronary heart disease, less strokes, less hypertension. The list goes on, less cancers. Obviously, more fiber means more stuff in your stool to bulk it up, make it pass easier, and it decreases your transit time. Transit time is the time when you eat and it actually goes out when it's supposed to. And so, but the real winner for fiber is this: fiber promotes the growth of good gut bacteria. Now, we've mentioned this before, but the bacteria in your gut can either help you or they can hurt you. So if you're, it's kind of like a little petri dish inside your GI tract. And if you're growing good bacteria, they're going to do good things for you. They're going to help your insulin to work okay. They're going to help you lose weight. They're going to help your metabolism. If you grow bad bacteria in there, they're going to release toxins into your blood, cause inflammation. They're going to cause all sorts of conditions. We've even linked bad bacteria to macular degeneration and several other eye conditions. And so this is why, you know, feeding the good bacteria is really important, and fiber is an essential component for them. So we talked about this last week. Fatty foods or foods that are very high in fat, they alter our gut bacteria because fatty foods promote bad bacteria in the gut. And so I'm talking about oils, highly processed fats, processed meats, and many animal-based meats, fats. And so gut bacteria will directly influence the rest of your body, including your immune system. So, okay, I understand why fiber is good now. Yes, it's good for me. I know I don't digest it, but my bacteria will be good and they'll help me to be healthier. So what are some good sources of fiber? Well, these are kind of a top 10 list on a database. It wasn't a database of every single food in the world, but these are some fiber-rich foods. Navy beans have 19 grams of fiber per cup. I don't really eat navy beans. Maybe you guys do, but I definitely do eat avocado, and that's 13 grams of fiber per avocado. And some notable ones: broccoli is 5 grams per cup, whole wheat pasta, oranges, sweet potatoes. So I like sweet potatoes. So definitely getting some good fiber sources. Now, what do you guys notice about all of these foods?
They're
They're whole foods.
They're all plants. And that's because the very definition of fiber is a plant material. And so really, in order to get sufficient fiber, just like Valerie said, we're deficient in fruits and vegetables. That's pretty accurate. We need to be eating more of our fruits and vegetables, more of our plant-based products. And that includes legumes as well. So, what do you think? Okay, so Trina asked, can I just get some Metamucil and just drink that down? That's not the ideal way to get your fiber. You know, I guess you can theoretically, if you're a man, put 38 grams of Metamucil in a cup and drink it down. But, you know, you definitely want to get it in your foods. That's the best way to get it. So prayer goal for you guys: Lord, help me to increase my fiber intake through the food choices I make each meal. And so just increasing the amount of plants in your meal will really help you to get to that recommended daily. I also recommend tracking your fiber intake. There are a lot of food logging apps that will really help you to track what you're eating, and just try to see if you're actually getting up to your fiber intake. I know I've done
raw
that.
better?
What's that?
Isn't raw better?
Is raw better? Fiber, you're not really digesting it, so raw or cooked, you can kind of get it either way. Some veggies, you actually absorb their nutrients better when you actually cook it. So it depends on which food you're talking about. So God's promise to us is, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So let's just try to take those steps to increase our fiber intake. And I hope this was a blessing to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.